Alright, we're live. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing? First in the house, we got Jason with the most appropriate comment of all time. He's rock hard for this. What's up, Stang 2007? Stang was actually first in the other stream that got botched. Then I had to remake. So technically first Stang, but also second. What's up, KL130? What's up, Chemical Aid? Hey, we got Pico Ups in the house. Hello, hello. Mr. Shrimp, hello. We got Extreme Zone. Everybody talking about these dang pills now. What's up, everybody? Also, no vertical stream because I'm going to be doing a dual camera thing where I will be showing... you shouldn't be seeing that. But yeah, I'll be showing... that. I was testing it with another camera earlier. Let me see. There we go. But you're going to be seeing two cameras. It froze because I disconnected the other camera. But we're going to be doing some side-by-side comparisons, focus tests, and all of that. Checking out this thing. But we're just going to chill for the first 5 or so minutes before we get started with the unboxing and setting up. Let me make sure I got the programs ready to go. They should be good. Was that an early Black Friday? No. Well, so there's gonna be a deal for this, but I've been considering getting going back to a webcam because let me show you what I'm using. But I've been considering it for a while now. But then the companies I was looking at was Instalink and then OBSBOT because they have these like motion tracking cameras. And then it just so happened OBSLink reached out saying they wanted to send a unit over. So I was like, okay, I'll do like a live unboxing as well as kind of like a, I guess, test. So this isn't a sponsored video. They did send this over, but I'm not obligated to say good things about it. And I think the cool thing is that I'll be able to test it live with you guys. So if this thing has, you know, worse video quality than what I'm using right now, even with the extra features, I probably won't go with it. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool to unbox and just test this thing out because if it is better quality, then getting a better camera that can focus better, which has been my biggest annoyance with this current camera, that would be pretty huge. So yeah, let me show you what my camera setup looks like right now while we wait for more people to come. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Whoa, what the heck? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, so there's you guys. Hello, hello. But yeah, so I'm using a point and shoot camera essentially. So it's not a webcam and it has like extra wires and it's all bulky. So if I can replace this, biggest problem with me is the focusing on this camera. If I can replace it with a tinier one that can also track, then I'm all for it. But if this is not as good, then I'm not gonna use it. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure this is something that will go on sale Black Friday though. For sure. Hey, what's up, Chris? Chris says OBSBOT and Insta360 Link cams really be stepping up things up. Yeah, I mean, just looking at the video quality, I did some research on it. It looks like good quality, but side by side with like an actual point and shoot cam, we'll actually see. Because I also thought, so this is the Elgato face cam. I thought this quality looked good and I bought it. And I used this for a bit until Chris is the one who actually helped me get this camera. Until he sent me that one, and comparing the two, this one was just hands down superior. The only thing is, as you can see already, like when you try to get the autofocus to work, it takes a little bit of time, so. Hey, what's up, Robert? Fix It. Igor! I probably should save this. Igor, I did receive. I'm trying not to show the address. I did receive your package. I've been meaning to open it up on stream, but I have not yet. So is it okay if I open this on stream? If it's not today, I would rather open it at like, or maybe we could open it at the end of the day. But is this something I can open on stream, Igor? Let me know. Because if it's just something that you wanted to send like more privately, then I will open it off stream. But when people send me stuff, I like opening it on stream just to, you know, show my appreciation. Open whenever. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we'll see if I can remember, because I always be forgetting stuff. I wanted to do the first portion of stream for the camera so we can get this set up and using it. But yeah, it's OBSBOT, not, or OBSBOT. I say OBSBOT because of OBS that I use for the streaming software. OBSBOT. Man, UPS drop kick that box. Well, it's a soft box. I'm not sure how much you can see it, but like it feels like clothing or a blanket or something in here. So it's soft. Like it's not like there's anything. It doesn't seem like anything electronic unless there is, and it's wrapped in a blanket. But we'll have to see. Chris swapped a friend off his A5000, which is what I'm using, into an OBSBOT recently even. Okay, so that might be a good signs for this one. So I'm excited because, yeah, Chris, I was looking at the date. I've been on this camera for 2 years now. 2022, or was it 1.5 years? It's 1.5 to 2 years that you sent me this camera to start using. So OBSBOT is a terrible name. It is a mouthful. OBSBOT, OBSBOT. Yeah. Items inside are squishy, says Igor. Got it. Pink bunny pajamas. Okay. What's up, giant robots? JC Cuts 23 says, need help with my PC. Jason is correct. The streams, we do sometimes do tech support, but unless we're doing something else, which we are going to be doing something else for a good section of the beginning of the stream, Discord, which is linked down below, is the best place to get help either from myself or other people. So, what's up, AX Droptimus? Jason really likes his OBS Meet 2. OBS Meet 2. Does it have a beauty mode to make you prettier? It does have AI functions. A lot of it is hand gestures and like face tracking and stuff, but we'll be playing with all of that in a second here. What's up, family? Gaming. Hello from Canada. Hello from just below Canada. What mouse are you using nowadays? I'm using the Corsair Harpoon. Ooh, look at that. The rub mark on it. Ooh, this thing is dirty. Give me a second. This is embarrassing. Get this dust off of it. I need to do a deep cleaning of this mouse, actually. Wow, that is worn out. But yeah, you can see it's worn down to like the white layer. You got the normal texture, the shiny layer. Come on. This is the autofocus problem. There we go. Don't look at my wheel. It's pretty gross. I know. But yeah, it's pretty worn down. But I like it because it's small, cheap, and it can go wireless and quickly plug in to charge. But yeah, nothing fancy. Clean that Cheeto dust off. I'll tell you it's not Cheeto dust because it's not orange. But it's not whatever else you're probably thinking too, you nasties. It's just, I have very dry skin and dry hands, so a lot of dead skin cells, which sounds disgusting. I know. I'm sorry. Wash your hands. That's why your feet died. I wash my hands a lot. I have severe dry skin. Washing hands is actually kind of a pain every time it washes the moisturizers off. Hey, what's up, John? What up? Is OBS or OBS some Chinese company? I've never heard of them. I don't know what the country of origin. Okay, it is made in China. I would imagine a lot of these companies in electronics are. I don't know if it was designed in China. Blah blah blah. Other trademarks. Yeah, I'm. It's definitely manufactured there, and the address Shenzhen, Hong Kong. Okay? I'm thinking yes. This is a Chinese-based company. Just looking at the retail or a box. This isn't one of those things like potentially engineered by like a US-based company and then manufactured over there. Me, when people say they've never heard of them, I mean, what else does OBSBOT make aside from these webcams, right? So a lot of people don't need webcams in their lives, so or they just use whatever, you know, one that they know, Logitech or built-in one to their laptop or their phone. So I can see why some companies haven't heard of OBSBOT. I remember because Insta360 was the first one that came out with the gimbal webcam, right? And then I believe OBSBOT came afterwards. Not like they copied them, but I remember hearing about Insta360 before I heard of OBSBOT. But then this one popped on the scene. It seemed soon after. Only webcam I ever used was my laptop. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people, unless they're like into content creation, streaming, or have to do like a ton of, you know, work meetings or something. Why all these companies just rip off? Well, the Insta360 link, is that related to Insta360 at all? Let me see. Like the Insta360 action cam? Oh no, it is the same camera. Yeah. So this one's not ripping off because this one's actually the company. So yeah. So I also know of Insta360 by these cool action cams that give you like a complete spherical point of view. But yeah, so this it's the same exact company, but this is the one that I first heard of when it came to these gimbally cameras. Oh, but you're saying Insta, like Instagram? Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I got here late. Is OBS sponsor with a coupon code? They did give me a coupon code. I did not put it in the description yet. This is not sponsored. I'm not getting paid. They did send this over for me to test, but I'm not obligated to say good things about them and recommend them. Let me see if I can find that code though. They gave me the code, but I wasn't gonna put it unless anyone was interested and asked for it. I don't think it was that big of a discount code. I think it was like 5%, nothing major. But they are having Black Friday deals, so best to wait for that. Okay, yeah. So if you wanted to, you wait until Black Friday hits and then you use this code that I put in the chat, and it can be combined with other deal prices. So yeah. But they're not sponsoring this. Dang, it's $250 minus $30 coupon on Amazon, and this is the Tiny Lite 2, the Tiny 2 Lite rather. So there's two different there's actually a lot of different versions, but there's the Tiny 2 and Tiny 2 Lite. Tiny 2 Lite in the US is $180 USD. They do have a Tiny 2 non-light version, which is much more expensive, $300. But all right, let's get to unboxing this thing so we can start testing it, because I'm very curious about the quality. What up, Shauner? What up? I saw the OBS camera before and someone said the original had better features. Okay, so let's get to unboxing. I was trying to set up an overhead cam, but I cannot get my gear together and working. So we're just gonna do the boxing like this. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see if this autofocus. This camera, you have one last chance to try to get this autofocusing right. And you're kind of failing already. You're taking too long. The unboxing experience. Here we go. Look at this. This is the camera. Pretty small. Come on. You're about to get replaced here. Let me show you the side-by-side comparison size-wise. What it would look like next to what I'm using right now. So, here, I'm just gonna put this right here. I think this might actually work. No, I gotta mount it. But yeah. So, if you look at the body and the lens of the camera, some different angles of it. Yeah, this thing is a lot smaller. So, it would actually help declutter this section of the my stream setup. But yeah, okay, let me get this hooked up, and then we can start looking at the quality. And oh, let me do the peel first. All right, come on, there you go. There's the focus. I gotta pull it to the side. Tilt that off. Let me get this set up on the mount. I have a Logitech C922 Pro HD stream for work. Overkill for meetings. Yeah, I have the C920 somewhere, which I believe the C922. I don't know what they did when they refreshed it, but yeah, the C920 was like the GOAT cam for a really long time. They were, for the most part, easily found for like 30 to 50 bucks, depending on if you found it on sale. And my first video of all time on YouTube for the Neuron on a Budget channel was filmed on a C920. Actually, the first, I think, few videos. Alright, so getting this plugged in. Alright. Is this detected? Okay. Getting set up on the software side of things. Screenshot your stream now. Oh no, I do have a side by side, and then I have two different. Once it gets hooked up, it'll be here. But yeah, no, we're gonna do direct comparisons at the same time. So yeah, I have it set up for that. Okay, what are we doing here? Landscape. Please directly. Okay, it is connected. All right, let's see if it's in here. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit. Ooh, it's playing with the color. Okay, let me lock in the white balance and try to get them positioned so that they're relatively similar to each other. Okay, how am I gonna do this? Alright, I have to get them situated so that their lenses are right next to each other. And with the Gorilla Pod, this isn't the easiest thing in the world. Oh, did I just knock the cable? I just knocked the cable, I think. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me see. The discount covers the cost of shipping, so that's cool. Yeah, if anything that helps. Okay, the color is going all over the place right now. Let me anti-flicker, white balance. Let me do the white balance. Okay, so we can set the temperature from like super warm in Mexico, yellow, Breaking Bad Mexico, to what? I'm trying to get the colors about the same. I think it's about 5,000. The contrast is definitely, I look sick. Yeah, I gotta work on the white balance as well as the auto exposure. So let me mess with the ISO as well. Yeah, definitely something is up with the contrast, but I gotta dial it in just like I dialed in this other camera. But if we look at the two, here's a Sony cam, right? Here's my face, and here's the OBSBOT. But I'm gonna put them side by side so we can just look at the quality. Okay, so exposure. All right. Okay, here we go. Contrast and saturation. So we play with the contrast. Yeah. So this makes it look like you get like a little bit flatter. I mean, let's see, sharpness. So this is the sharpest. This isn't looking good for it in terms of the quality in comparison. So this would not replace it unless I'm missing on some settings. They both look the same. It's considerably less sharp. Yeah, it doesn't have like a, you know, like a lens on it in the same way that the HDR mode. What does this do? Okay. What? It is noticeably... I mean, I guess this is good enough. I'm trying to make it so that side by side, the images are the same size and the height, but it's really hard to do with 2 cameras. But, okay. So we go to the 2, right? So here's the Sony camera. And here is that one. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me add the window. Window capture. Window. Okay. If I can show this. No, it's not letting me show that window. Why not? I wanted to show you the settings, but oh, here we go. There we go. All right, so this is the, here, I'll put it in the middle. This is the settings that I'm trying to play with to change the image quality. So more of a crisper look and less blur on the OBSBOT. I'm looking pale, so let me see if I can up the saturation. So I was playing with the temperature here. You get more, yeah, I don't want to get it too warm. I want to match the warmth, which the lights I'm using are 5000, so I think 5000 is good. So I did play with the contrast a little bit. Like if we max the contrast, I think that's a little bit too, the blacks become too dominant. So I'm going to go back to like 60. Saturation, so this gives more color. Okay, woo! I look like the upcoming president. Okay, so but saturation can definitely be a little bit higher than 50. I think 55 is good. Deep fried Danny. It looked like how my foot looks. Try auto. Yeah, so this is auto right here. So I'm gonna click auto. And auto, I think I looked a little too cooked. Look at that. Yeah, I think that's a little too saturated. But yeah, playing with the sharpness, like if we just like take this image, right? Oh, it's already moving. So that's a little blurry. I think max sharpness is fine. It doesn't look too noisy. But it is following me already, which is nice. Which the other camera is not gonna do. All right, let's start. What I think image-wise though, this is as good as the image is gonna get. It might be a thing for my lighting. Let's see if adding more light. Oh, I forgot to turn on this light. This might help it too. Okay. All right. Let me hide this window now. All right, but this is actually pretty cool. I want to play with this for a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Because the Sony cam, every time I've moved around and stuff, I've never been able to. And then it's going to go up too, right? So like I can try to hide from it. Alright. So I'm liking that. I think that adds a little bit to the stream for when I am like going back and forth doing stuff from the side. I don't have to constantly move it. Oh yeah. Thanks for the compliments on the slippies. It hates. All right, good point, Jason. We can change the background to just white. We can change it to just white. I actually didn't even. All right, so that it looks blue, but it's actually. Oh wow. Okay. That actually might have helped quite a bit. All right, let's bring back up that window. Alright, so now I think we could actually down the saturation a bit, because now it's looking a little oversaturated. So go to like 50. And then temperature-wise, let me see. No, that's too cool. Can we go up a little bit? I think like 50. What? Yeah, what's getting me is like that paleness. So the Sony, to this question, the Sony, it was a used camera. So the funny thing is, the Sony camera, right, this one that you're looking at right now, this came out in 2014. I don't know about the lens. Chris, if you're still in the chat, you might be able to talk about the lens more. But I bought it used, so it might not be a fair comparison. But I bought it used from Chris for $140 for the lens and camera. But the camera itself, the A5000, came out in 2014. Now this is why. Oh, it's so zoom. Uh-oh, did I? Okay, let me see. I think there's a gesture for this. Ah, see? So you can do pretty cool stuff like this to change the zoom. And I think it's gonna. Uh-oh, did it lose me? Or did I stop it from following me? I think there's these hand gestures I was trying to learn. Okay, there we go. So then that works now, right? So, and then you can choose to zoom in. Don't lose me now. I'm right here. And you can choose to do the zooms, and you can choose to tell it when to stop following you. Which is pretty cool. How far can it turn? We talking what? Good question. So instead of going the direction where I should be going, let me try to hide over here on the table. So, I mean, in terms of this pan of view, I mean, it's looking like it's getting me decently here. How far can you go? Keep following. Come on. Yep. I mean, can it go even further? Looks like it can. It's that's looking like 270. Let me see the actual specs on it though. It's as far as you should need to go, I would think, unless you have a setup where it's in, maybe for like a LAN party, if I set it up in the middle of the room and it could go all around. Let's see. I did not see the specs of the. Yeah, the responsiveness was pretty good. So just looking at the quality, it looks like it keeps on changing. Okay, don't zoom in on me. Stop it. I don't want my face to be zoomed in. I can cancel that, by the way. Let me show. Okay, so there are settings in here, right? Where you can tell it to. So there's the gesture control stuff right here. So it tells you like to lock the target, the zoom, execute, zoom in, zoom out. Where's the auto stuff though? Zoom factor. Device initial state. Dynamic zoom. Okay, where's the auto zoom though? I know it's in here somewhere. Is A5000 a good vlogging camera still? I mean the quality that for the stream anyways, I thought it looks good. All right, so let me know which one is better, and so give each of them a rating out of 10. So the better one would probably give a 10, so give the other one relative to it. So if I'm looking at this right now, being completely honest, right? And the OBSBOT, I need to get used to saying that, even though it's based on the name OBS, it seems. If I would give the Sony A5000 the better image quality. And so if we assume that's a 10 relative to it, oh my god, it's doing the zoom in thing again. Go away. Go away. Stop zooming into my face and my chapped lips. I would say the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is like an 8. So it's not drastically different, but it is different enough, and I'm trying to play with the settings to see if there's anything that I'm doing wrong. 9 out of 10. Oh, so you like the OBSBOT better, John? Yeah, so John says 9 out of 10 for the OBSBOT, and then 7 out of 10 for Sony. OBSBOT 10, Sony 7. Huh, am I just I'm looking at it from a LG IPS monitor, but from your guys' end, if the OBSBOT looks better, stop it. Go away. Please stop zooming into my face. OBSBOT makes you look softer, but the background is sharp. Sony is opposite, but the single cable is nice. The tracking is nice. The less volume is also nice too. I gotta give me 1 second. Gesture control. We're gonna take the zoom out. And this is it zoomed out. So it is a 4K camera, which in terms of like the megapixels and resolutions and stuff, it's kind of hard to compare like an actual point and shoot camera versus a webcam, because the only stat that they gave on the sensor was that it was a 1/2 inch sensor. I looked up the Sony sensor and it's like a little bit larger. It was like 0.55 square inches, whereas the OBSBOT is 0.5 square inches, right? But like this one, it tells you it was like a 20 megapixel camera, the Sony cam, and then the OBSBOT is just, it says it's 4K. So they don't give you like apples to apple specs in that regard. So I think like comparing sensor sizes and then like resolution / megapixels, it's kind of a moot point when most people are going to be using it in like either 1080p or 4K. But you can add a little bit more red / pink hue in the image adjustment. Let me check out the image adjustment again. So I'm here. So there's the temperature, exposure. So the exposure, autofocus, HDR, focus, virtual camera. Okay, let me check out all these other settings just to make sure I understand. Oh, beauty mode. What is this? Someone joked earlier. There's a beauty mode. Oh, bokeh. Okay, let me see. So there's bokeh effect. Let's play with that. So, blur level. How much can we blur it? Advanced. I don't know if that's doing anything to the background. I'm playing with the beauty settings right now. How about retouch? Native. Classic. Is this doing anything to it? Okay, let me show you this window. This one's actually pretty funny. Okay. Not that one. Chrome. Oh, it's not letting me show this window. No. There are filters, but it's not even applying any of them, at least to my knowledge. Yeah, it doesn't look like it is applying them real time, so I have to mess around with that more. Sony webcam is already on Facebook Marketplace. I think you have to switch to the visual camera for OBSBOT. Okay, the visual camera. Let me see. Oh, I see. You mean like use like a virtual camera mode, or like not for like live video feed is what you're saying, Chris? Yeah, I see. Okay, let me see if I can do that. Yeah, that makes sense because this does have like AI features as a part of it. Okay, let me go to virtual cam. This might mess this up or not. Tips. Okay. Fail to enable. Please close all programs and maybe using. That's why. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back to the side by side. Okay. So we got to deactivate the camera and then go to virtual mode, and let's see if that does it. Okay. OBSBOT. Here we go. Oh god, that looks horrible. Okay, I gotta take all these filters off because okay. Stop. No, I do not want all of this. Image. Yeah. So it's trying to do it smart. Oh gosh, I was just trying to like maximize all the filters. Give me 1 second. I need to fix this because okay, where was that? There we go. Okay, here we go. So we go back to the side by sides. Now we can play with something like bokeh, right? So you could choose the blur in the background, which I mean, if you look at this region right here, you see along this outline of my head, because it is trying to do it based on AI, it's not doing a good job. Also, all these other here we go. So this is more of a stock feeling, but yeah, that's not looking too good in terms of the AI. I mean, this is what most webcams I've seen looks like, right? When like I have meetings with people and they try to hide their background, it's like pretty rough like this. So yeah, so that doesn't look that good. So let me go to, if we go to the retouch, right? So this is the native. Yeah, so all these filters, you can change like the smoothness. Oh my god, is it making my lips look like extra? Yeah, it looks, it put, well, at least it made my lips look more red on the woman. So this is like, it's showing a picture of a woman called Classic for the retouching. Okay, and then here's the man one. I don't know. Yeah, so there's, this one definitely makes my skin look kind of blushy and like fake, like fakishly smooth. This is the man one, which looks pretty natural versus the normal. So okay, we're gonna take the bokeh off. It looks like garbage. Okay, so let me read the comments. See, so some people say the left cam looks way better, which is the Sony cam. How much is the camera? The camera is 180 before any sales and stuff like that. Is that the beauty filter? It was, Pika Wubs. Yeah. Yeah, but people, a decent amount of people earlier were saying the OBSBOT camera looked better, and I wonder if it depends on, oh, focus test, you're right. And I wonder if it's dependent on, let me move these together closer so they're right next to each other. And I wonder if it depends on what device you're watching it on. Like, it might look better on phone versus on like a, you know, big screen TV or like a nice monitor. All right, focus test. The focus test is reading the text on this and how quickly it snaps. Ooh, Sony cam, you're taking a while. You see how fast that snapped? Holy crap. Let's just test the OBSBOT one. Let me hide this window. All right, so here's me. Bam, here's this thing. That is some quick focusing. That's actually pretty impressive. I'm so used to the Sony cam. Okay, so this is the OBSBOT cam. That's pretty good. That is like super fast. Okay, now we'll go to the Sony cam. Come on. There you go. And again, I'm not a camera person. I don't know if there's any benefits to it taking a while to focus. But the Sony cam definitely, for my use cases, would lose in that category. So yeah, if we go again, so we go side by side and go bam. Oops. I need to not, here, I gotta focus or point them inwards so that this is like, get them both centered more. Oh, the OBSBOT, it's trying to get my face. Okay, so we're gonna go here. This is how we do it. Okay, so it isn't here. Let me turn down. Uh-oh. Let me turn down the lights. It's probably not helping out that this is super bright. So here we go. This should be better. Okay. So focus test. Bam. Sony cam. What you doing, bro? Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much as expected. The focus on the Sony cam has always given me trouble over the years. Like, even look at the OBSBOT one. Even with it not being in the full frame, it even snaps quickly. This is right in dead center in front of the Sony cam with the text and everything, and it's still having trouble picking me up for the focus. Yeah, the OBSBOT, even just seeing the side of the packaging is okay. I think that's a clear winner for the OBSBOT there. There's no contesting that. I mean, is there more light from the Sony cam? It looks like they're both about the similar-ish brightness. The Sony cam might have a little bit more. I could turn down the ISO, but I wouldn't think. I mean, it could clearly pick up the image, right? If you give it long enough. I have it locked on the ISO and the aperture and everything, so I don't think this is a light issue. It's a focusing issue because once it does focus, it picks it up just fine. And the OBSBOT, I mean, look at the OBSBOT. So now I'm gonna just turn up the light like super bright, and even when it's super bright, the OBSBOT, look at that, it just picks it up really fast, even at max brightness. Yeah. Let me turn on the light again so I'm not blinding myself. So here's the weird thing. The OBSBOT, to me, looking at the comparison, sometimes it seems like... Oh, dang it. I touched the cable again. There we go. Sometimes it seems like the OBSBOT looks better. But if it gets to like a certain... Like maybe when it sees a certain amount of like the background... or like it's influenced by the lights, sometimes it looks kind of like I'm a zombie. So it's not super consistent. I wonder if I could do anything to lock that down. I'm not planning on making a video on this because this is specifically a stream camera. I wanted to test it live on stream, but I would not use this. Actually, let me think about that. If someone could only use... I would never... What is going on here? I think I might have to switch ports on this. Give me 1 second. I would never... I don't think I would ever recommend a webcam as a YouTube camera if you had the choice. I would choose a point and shoot or like a DSLR, a used one or something like that. Let me reset this thing. OBSBOT. What's going on, buddy? Why did this just turn off? I can't be having... This cannot be happening. Okay, I need to maybe use the official cable. I just used whatever USB-C cable I had. That might be the issue. Let me plug that in. Hello? Can you see me? You gonna follow me? Where's the tracking? There it is. Might need to set the shutter speed and ISO. I think that was available to change in the software. Oh, you talking about the OBSBOT, Chris, or are you talking about the Sony cam? I did set the... Or I thought I locked in the shutter speed. And yeah, shutter speed and ISO are locked in. 1/30th and then 800, which is typically what I shoot with, just like normally on anything. Yeah, I try not to go that much, like over 1,000, just because it starts to look noisy. A little more distortion from the OBSBOT. Okay, is it? Why is it not following me now? After I reset it. Motion tracking. Oh, here we go. We good? You gonna start following me or no? Normal tracking. Okay, there we go. Yeah, when I reset it, it turned off the setting. 160 typical rules, double the FPS. Ooh, then I need to go like 120. The Sony cam is 130, and this is a 60 FPS stream. But okay, let me see if that does anything. So I'll go 160 to match, so it gets a little darker, and then we gotta up the ISO a bit, which is, ooh, see, I'll stick to like 1200 and turn up the lights. Just, I keep touching this dang cable and it keeps messing with the camera. Yeah, we're switching it. Nope, and it's back. Now this, I understand the Sony's too bright now. Yeah, I know you say don't set it to double. 4K 30 camera. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, on this one. Let me see. What is... let's see. Let me check. Let me set it to 1080p. That actually might help, because I'm not doing a 4K stream and I'm not cropping. So I don't think I need that. Image. It says it does 1080p 60, but I'm not seeing anywhere where you set the resolution. Lock target zoom factor. It shouldn't be the zoom factor. This does have a microphone on it, but I don't know if anyone really cares to test that because it's definitely not going to be good quality. Yeah, I'm not seeing the resolution settings on here. Output. Oh, here we go. Oh, it was set to 1080. So I'll do 1080 60. Now, oh wow. Oh my goodness. You see that? It looks like it's giving me freckles. So this is 1080 60. Recording bitrate. No, video encoding hardware, landscape. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, you see all that? What is that from? I think that might be from my sharpness. It is from my sharp. Okay, give me 1 second. Yeah, let me turn down the sharpness. I had it at 100% still. Let me go to about like 60. Now I look really soft though. Interesting how just changing the I didn't change the resolution because I kept it at 1080p, but I did change the frame rate. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Okay. It's making you look older. Artificial pores, yeah. It's trying to beautify me. People are into the freckles nowadays. Okay. So, yeah, I feel like the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is a little bit consistent. There were portions of it where, you know, when the background lighting was just right and when this lighting up here was just right, I thought it was pretty dang comparable to the Sony cam. But like right now, I think it's noticeably worse quality. We do gain a bunch of features though. So I think I have to dial it in and then potentially okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Next stream, I'm going to be using one of these two cameras without saying which camera I'm using. And let's see if anybody even notices or says anything. If you were here on this stream, seeing me test this, you might know to look out for it. But there might be other people who aren't here. And I just want to see if I get any comments. Oh, great. But that makes it sound like I'm for sure going to use the OBSBOT. I will secretly change between the cameras next stream. Let's just say that. Dude, this cable is so sensitive. I barely bumped it. Hopefully I didn't get a defective unit. OBSBOT looks really clear though. It's weird because on my preview screen, right? Let me show you again what that looks like. You see this screen? So this is where I'm previewing everything. And it changed for now, but yeah, on this preview screen, which is, you know, I don't remember what exact LG model it is, but it's LG, it's an IPS display. This is where it has the most correct colors. It looks better, the Sony cam looks better on my end, but it looks like there's mixed responses in the comments from you guys watching at home. Some people think the OBSBOT does look clearer and better. That's not what I'm seeing on my preview, and that's not what some other people are seeing too. The background looks better. I mean, better is relative, right? I think it just looks, well, right now it's dimmer for sure. It is kind of blown out and pretty blurry in the back of the Sony cam. But some people like that blur effect, the bokeh, so. You look more tan. Well, the tan, I could control how tan I look. Want to see how I want to look me? Want me to look pale? Yeah, the tanness is just a matter of me changing the temperature, so I can make it look cooler and less tan a little bit. Yeah, like that. So if I go down to like 48K, so that's all changeable in the settings. But okay, on my screen, OBSBOT beating the heck out of Sony with exception of the cutting out. Yeah, I'll fix that by using the official cable if it cuts out again, but. Your face and close look muted on the OBSBOT. Like, not muted as in like less saturation. How about if I bump it up to like 60? Now it's a little bit more matching. But now my skin is too orange. I'm starting to look like a Cheeto. Yeah, okay, so I need to definitely mess around with the settings. And I think seeing it side by side definitely is gonna... well, I just bumped it again. Awesome. You're changing. I don't care. We're changing the cables. Yeah, so this is a USB-C to USB-C cable. I'm using a USB-C to A. And I don't know, my A port on my thing is struggling here. Give me a second to get that set up. What lens am I using? So, what lens is this? This is the 3.5 to 5.6, 18 to 55. I don't know what the official name is, but usually with those specs, you can see. Is that a kit lens, Chris? Are you still in the chat? Do you know if that's the kit lens? Yeah, I think it's the kit lens. I didn't want to just say it though without making sure. I'm pretty sure it's the kit lens. Yeah, okay. Let me turn back down the saturation. Ooh. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it though. So I mean, OBSBOT. I would like for it to be the camera moving forward for a number of reasons. But the image quality, I need to dial down, or I need to dial in and get that figured out, which could take way longer than the stream could take. And I don't want to make this the entire stream. I wanted to make it the start of the stream. But thank you guys for helping me decide between the two. Now we can go back to the normal stream. Why is it asking for me to sign in? Give me 1 second. Let me move this down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, next week I'll see if I can sneak that in without people noticing, unless you're here already and you're hearing me say that. But yeah. If you had so with the Sony, because the lens are changeable and lens definitely affects the quality a lot. If I had a lens with lower aperture, it would look better than the Sony. Sony's still sharper. Yeah. Try 4K for gits and shiggles. The stream's only at 1080p, so I don't know if setting it to 4... Okay. Actually, I think you bring up a good point. Alright, let's set it to 4K, because I didn't even do that at all. Alright, let's do that. We're going to do 4K 30. I think it looks the same. if we're going to be honest, this is 4K right now. I think it looks pretty the same. Yeah, see, like at this right here, if I don't move and I don't get any different lighting, the OBSBOT looks really good right here. But it changes depending on what's in the background and how the light hits my face. I think this looks pretty good right here, actually. Yeah, my hair looks darker. I think that might just be the contrast settings. It will help with the zooming if I do that later on. Yes, keeping that 4K quality even when it zooms in. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so with the hair thing, right? Let me see if I can play with the contrast to change my hair. There, see, if I change the contrast down, then the hair actually looks more similar. But if I up the contrast, then you can't see. So a little bit lower of a contrast will give more of the hair details coming through, like at 30 or so. But now I look a little bit more pale on the skin. So okay, yeah, I will definitely mess with this more. But let me turn down this light now, because the Sony does not like this much light on my face. Let me change that. There we go. Yeah. So first thing someone posted, I think it was Sting, right? Sting posted, let me get this stuff out of the way. Your glasses don't reflect as much. With the reflection of the light, it also depends on the location of the camera relative to me and the light panels. So that's, I think, due to the positional distance of the lenses shooting at me, because they're both being tilted inwards. So yeah, I'll definitely take a look at the different effects off stream. Sony looks like you need to clean the lens from dust. Well, let me actually, so I have a microfiber cloth right here. Let me clean this. I don't think this is that dirty, but is this gonna affect it at all? Here we go. Did it look like I... Come on, my face is right here. It's taking so long to autofocus. Am I using a Camlink 4K? No, my Sony cam is hooked up via the cheapest USB to HDMI adapter you can imagine. So if we go to like Amazon, I'll show you the adapter I'm using, like HDMI to USB adapter. Capture card rather. Not. Right, so I'm using this. Quite literally this. Which I know a lot of people who do the same thing using like a camera or DSLR to get the video footage into their PC. It is definitely better after I clean it. Okay. So yeah, we'll see next week when I do the stream with the other camera. See how many people notice and say anything. Hopefully by then you guys would have forgotten because a whole week has gone by, and hopefully more eventful things than my streams have happened in your life. But okay, someone linked this. It was Staying 207. Tom's Hardware. I think this is pretty. I mean, this is. Let's see if it's a rumor or not. I have not read this myself. But Intel Arc B580 Battle Mage GPU boxes appear in shipping manifests. Okay, let's see. When you purchase, yep. Yesterday we reported, what is this? Reportedly planning a Battle Mage launch December. Okay, so it's like they're trying to beat AMD and Nvidia to the punch. So I think this is pretty exciting news. I don't know if after using an Intel card, it makes it more exciting for me than other people who don't really care about Intel cards except to like watch reviewers review it. But having used an Intel card pretty extensively for, you know, I don't even know how long that was. A year and a half? I don't think I reached 2 years, but I think it was like a year and a half. Doing that for all my content creation and gaming, I'm actually like, I have faith in Intel getting better with the next launch. So this is exciting news. So okay, so some boxes. This is what we're reporting on now. We're still aware of specific. So no specs leak, just some orders for boxes, and they're thinking of a potentially December launch. December is like 1.5 weeks away, and then you got 30 days in December to get all this out. That looks like a great affordable GPU for streaming. I mean, hopefully it's affordable. It would have to still be in like the lower 300s ish range, right? But to see, they changed the number. What is their thought process going from 700 series? I mean, the B makes sense, right? Because it was like A770, A750, and now you're gonna go to a B with the 580. This naming is kind of confusing to me, but Intel just did their Ultra series, which messed up their whole naming scheme. So I don't know. Maybe this seems like a habit for them at this point. I have not seen the recent Gamers Nexus video yet, but they were talking about the upcoming Battle Mage GPUs. Okay. Oh, so if this is a budget one, yeah, so that makes sense for the A580. What performance does this have to have for people to care and like it, right? This is interesting too, because this would be like the order that companies typically don't release graphics cards in. They typically release, even with them focusing on budget, I would think a B770 and a B750 card, if they're under 350 bucks, would still be within the realm of a budget PC. Brand new parts, for me, a budget PC is like 700 to 800 bucks. Because if you're gonna be honest, like if you're expecting new parts, $700 to $800 to buy all brand new parts, you can fit a $350 graphics card in there very easily. But yeah, I guess we would have to see what the performance of this is relative to the A580. Yeah, I know they're all ARC, and the A is for Alchemist, Battle Mage, and stuff like that. But if Battle Mage is still in, hard to say. Mike Brazone here with the actual like industry analysis. Hard to say. The original ARC sales plan was to sell them to Intel mainboard houses in a CPU bundle kit. CPU came with the D GPU in a bundle deal sale like AMD GPU. The original plan, once the next gen came out, was to sell it with bundled with other CPUs. Is what you're saying? They really should shoot for entry level while they improve their drivers. Let me pull up the hierarchy chart just to get a refresher, because Tom's does keep it pretty updated. I guess we can look at Tech Power Up too. A580 Intel. Let me see. Okay, so if we look at the relative performance, right? I mean, the A580 is right there with the RX 5700, RX 6600. So what's the price of the A580 right now? If you're trying to buy it, so they are floating around $170, it looks like. Are these getting harder to find now? Give me 1 second to pull this up. Intel Arc. Yeah, so you can see there are models at 170, which if it's in the ballpark of the RX 6600, we're looking at these are, man, these renewed ones are cheaper. And then RX 5700s, you're not gonna be able to find them new, but 170 brand new, that's not the worst price, except for the fact that I feel like most people who have this much to spend on a graphics card, I don't know if they're looking at Intel. Like, the Intel graphics card market share, I don't know where the most accurate numbers would be, but I am pretty confident that they are abysmal, just based on me probing either like the stream, in videos where I've asked people what brand graphics cards they have, things like that. There's not much Intel dedicated GPU representation at all. So if the what was the A580 release MSRP Intel? What was the launch price? It hasn't even really dropped in price. Yeah, it's seemed like a $10 price reduction on some of the models. So with the B580 coming out, I'm trying to like guess if they're gonna increase the price, or if this is gonna see a slash in price, where if this goes down to like 140, 150, and the new one comes out at the same price, around like 180-ish, or maybe even like 200, this could become a better value. And then depending on how much better the B580 is, it could be more viable, but I don't know. Intel's been fighting that battle for a long time. It's hard to imagine. AMD has been fighting that battle for a long time, and they're still like finding it hard to overtake Nvidia in market share. It's gonna take a while for Intel to do anything significant, I feel. Extreme Zone 987 says, honestly, I'm tempted to get an upcoming Intel GPU, but I don't want to be disappointed. A disappointed guinea pig. How much disposable income do you have? how many, like, are you building systems for people constantly, etc., right? If you are building systems for people who aren't super picky, that are just playing pretty, like, you know, basic games and stuff like that, getting parts and then, I don't want to say offloading it to them, but being able to use it in builds that you could help other people with when you're building, because it is a pretty cost-effective solution. That could be one way to approach it. But yeah, I mean, if, like, you know, money is tight and you don't just have extra money to be throwing around to be playing with graphics cards, and you just want, you know, AMD/NVIDIA, I think it'd be hard to get the Intel card. But I think I might be able to get samples before embargoes lift and before review embargoes and stuff, because I do have a contact over at Intel, and they actually asked me if I wanted to check out the Intel Ultra series, and just timing wise I couldn't, and thank goodness I didn't, because it probably would have been a very negative video. Plus, I've talked about it before, testing CPUs is way harder than testing GPUs. Watch the reviews and make a decision after, for sure. Yeah, I'm hopeful that, it feels like with the other ARC cards, did you guys notice this? Did it seem like a lot of the other reviewers were pretty, like, more easygoing on the Intel ARC cards than every NVIDIA and AMD launch? And it kind of makes sense, right? Because they understand that Intel is kind of like the most underdog, and it was their first, you know, launch. So, not their first ever launch, but we're talking about, like, modern times relatively, like, not like years ago with their other GPUs. Didn't it seem like Gamers Nexus Steve, for example, and I guess Hardware Unbox Steve as well, they usually tear apart NVIDIA and AMD when it comes to, like, even a lukewarm graphics card launch. They get pretty sensational with the title and the thumbnails. But on the Intel, let me look it up. I thought I'm remembering that they weren't that tough on Intel Arc. Intel Arc A770 Gamers Nexus. So this is the teardown. Intel's incomplete. Okay, so this was, I think, the official video. And then this was a teardown, I believe, after the fact. So they did a revisit, but incomplete Intel Arc Limited Edition GPU review and benchmarks. So yeah, the title is definitely very tame. Nothing very negative about it. Saying it is incomplete, I would say that this is a much better than the treatment that some of the AMD and NVIDIA cards have gotten. But let me see Hardware Unbox. Not terrible, which is pretty good, I would say, given some of the other stuff that we've seen. Let me just look at reviews in general. Shill Hat. Okay, yeah, so this one's not necessarily negative. Yeah, just looking through the list, there doesn't seem to be anyone really punching down at Intel. So, we'll see how Battle Mage comes around. Now that it's their second generation, maybe people won't be as forgiving. Igor says, I built a few budget PCs with ARC cards and the people were very happy with them. I mean, I would say overall, I was happy with the A770 that I was using for all my use cases, which it ran, you know, all these streams for the last, like, year and a half. It ran all my content creation. I gamed on it. So, yeah, I never had any of those super major bugs that other people had. I would say, though, that Intel's kind of like their equivalent to GeForce Experience and AMD Adrenalin. They're kind of like software for the graphics cards. It definitely feels like it's ranked last in terms of usability and just, like, fluidity and smoothness and stuff like that. It definitely feels like they could do some work in that department, but that's not like a huge major thing. Any estimate dates for the new release of the LAN party videos? Yeah, Christmas time frame, December. I haven't even started working on it yet. It usually takes me about a week, so I'll start working on it relatively soonish, and it should be out during Christmas, so that people can watch it during their holiday break from work and school and all that good stuff. They should try to make single slot GPUs that are at least as good as the RTX 3050 with at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, single slot graphics cards. I don't have. I have some, but not directly on hand for me. You're talking about single slot, not half height, right? Single slot graphics card. I feel like half height graphics cards would be a higher ask, or like So yeah, single slot, which I've not seen in a very long time. Very skinny. I feel like half height graphics cards would be something. If I could choose between the two, like a half height one where you could put a smaller bracket and fit in the slim form factor systems, I would want this one more. Unless you mean this, because these are single slot as well. But they have double slots too. So yeah, between these two, if we're talking like single slot but still full width, versus double slot half height, I would prefer half height, even if it is double slot, because I feel like there's more use cases, especially on the low end of graphics cards, repurposing, slim office towers, especially the more recent ones that do have more modern, like 8th, 9th, 10th gen Intel chips. Those slim towers, being able to take one of these in, you could, make a pretty serious budget system, whereas with this one you still need a full width tower. Single slot, I think that's not going to provide much in power in 2024. Yes, you're right, GPUs are getting thick across the board though. Well, basically something you can put in office PCs and such. Actually, looking back, have they really released single slot? What is the most recent? Have they released mainstream consumer single slot? Oh, here we go. Like this one. Yeah, okay, so this is a mainstream. When is this? Oh, this was published a year ago. Yeah. I don't understand really the use case for this. In terms of like for the consumer market anyways, not specialty, I don't know if I've seen many cases where you're very limited with the stacking direction, right, of the motherboard, as much as you are with the width of the case. But cooling is also an issue for thinner cards, yeah, because your heatsink is essentially like almost half the volume. So, and your fans, especially if you have to do blower style, or just your fan, the pitch can't be as steep, right? You can't scoop as much air on a low profile fan versus like a more quote unquote deep one. But interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever run into a use case where I needed a single slot. I do run into more, so especially building budget machines wanting cards like this. Half height, I should say. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, let's see. But I mean, December launch, that's a month away. 1 month from now, it's going to be near the end of December. Which makes it kind of exciting in terms of potentially just getting new hardware to mess with, especially not high-end. Remember, I've been asking for NVIDIA and AMD, like, can you just release a modern $200 or less card for the lower budget segment? If Intel delivers and the B580 is under 200 bucks, it would need to be the performance of like a 6600 XT, or like a 3060/3060 Ti, without any driver issues, to be very compelling. And knowing NVIDIA and AMD, they're not going to be releasing $200 or sub $200 cards. So this could be good for that lower segment of the market. So thanks Stang for linking this. I'm pretty excited. Honestly, I really had no idea if Battle Mage was even gonna release in the next 6 months, given that they seemed to have been pretty quiet about it. But this dropping out of nowhere potentially in this next month, it's pretty exciting. Uh-oh, I forgot. God, it was Tech Drama Wednesday, says Rflet. What's the tech drama aside from MKBHD's videos continuously getting bombarded with comments about him speeding? Is there any other tech drama that I have not been I don't follow like game studios tech drama really. So in terms of tech not drama but tech happy news, WoW Classic is coming out tomorrow, which I have not decided if I'm gonna play yet because WoW is like crack to me. Like once I start playing WoW, it's so addictive that I can't be productive. So I don't know how I'm going to balance it if I do play it. So Shauner says, I'm hoping they have something that's closer to mid-range. Okay, so this is funny. When did I had it might have been in a comment. But what is your guys' definition of a mid-range graphics card? Was that in a stream that we talked about, or was I talking to someone on like a Reddit thread or on a video comment? But like, just choose a card right now from Nvidia and AMD. It can be last gen, it could be this gen. What is mid-range to you? I would say mid-range to me right now, if we're looking at current gen, I would say like a 4060 Ti is mid-range, and I would say 7600 XT. I would consider that mid-range. Once you get into 7700 XT and like 4070, then you're talking to like upper mid-range, which I know it's kind of like, I think you need to break it down into not just high-end, mid-range, and low-end. There's like in-betweens, right? And I think those cards, once you start approaching like the $400 or $500 price range, you start getting into the in-between, like upper mid, lower high, and etc. But what are people saying? So you think a mid-range card is a $600 4070 or the $400 $30 7700 XT? So 4070 6700 XT. Now mid-range to me is 1440p medium setting stuff like the 7700 XT. See, I feel like there's so much room on the low end, not in terms of like cards that actually exist in the current gen, but I mean, if you call those mid-range, the low end is just so big then, because so less than the 7700 XT is a 7600 XT. So then you can compare that to the 6600s, which calling that low end seems a little bit odd, unless you call that lower mid-range. But the fact that we can still go back in time and have so many cards still applicable or like relevant for gaming, like let's go back to the 5600 XT, which I know is like 2 generations old now, but those are still very capable at gaming. And then you go back even further to like RX 580s and GTX 1070s, which are still very relevant. I know they're legacy cards, but there's no modern day equivalent to them that we can list, unless you can call like the 3050. I think that operates around the range of a 1070, right? Then like, how's that categorized? 4060 and 4060 Ti is what Nvidia, did they really call that low end? The 4060 Ti low end, they're going to be charging, especially for the 16 gigabyte version, near $400 for a low end card. Yo, what's up, Kuya Isaac? I agree, there are 5 to 6 levels in gaming ranges, yeah. I guess just if we looked at, let's look at the Tom's, actually, no, the Tech Power Up one was fine. So, Tech Power Up. Do they have a GPU hierarchy? GPU specs database. No, we're just gonna have to choose, let's just choose the RTX 4090 Tech Power Up. And we'll go down from there, right? So just so we can see that the entire range of relative performance, if I could find it. Where the heck where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's the list. So if we're looking at the RTX, it's gonna be upside down. The RTX 4090, right? So this is the entire list, which goes down. Obviously, the GT 210 is not a gaming card, but if we keep going down, relative to 100% of the 4090's performance, what is still viable for gaming? I would say a GTX 1070 is still pretty viable. 1660 Super is still viable. 980 Ti. When you start getting into this range, I mean, the 1060 for very budget gaming is 15% of the performance of the 4090, right? So, if we look at this entire big list of what you could still quote-unquote game on today, so we're saying, so a lot of you said 4070. I barely, you see, look at this, let me zoom in more. So we're calling that mid-range. So from the 4090 all the way to, boop, right here, 4070, 7700 XT. This is what was considered, now we're at the mid-range. Let's just say the exact middle of gaming graphics cards. Now let me keep scrolling and see how far we have to keep scrolling until we reach a point where we're at graphics cards that aren't even really usable anymore. Which I guess I would say around the RX 580 and GTX 1060. So just based on that scrolling alone, and I know these cards are old, I understand, but they're still usable for at least 1080p, even in some modern titles. I think I scrolled 2/3 of the distance. So right now, performance-wise, in terms of still relevant graphics cards, the mid-range cards happens at about the 1/3 mark of the entire list. And this doesn't have any repeats. It does have like multiple gigabyte like VRAM SKUs, but it's not like this shows like 8 models of the 4080 from the different companies, right? This is just the graphics card model itself, not AIB inclusive. Next video for Danny deciding which graphics cards are mid-range and high-end. I mean, my mid-range wasn't too far off. Like, to get from the 7700 XT and 4070 right here to the 4060 Ti and, I guess, okay, I would say 4060 Ti, more so 6700 XT. I should not have said 7600 XT. I would say 6700 XT would be more mid-range. So I take that back. It would be right here. This, to me, would be the mid-range. A 2080 Ti, yes. That's old enough now. 2080 Super, yeah, this is the mid-range. But, I mean, we're not too many. We're just one, like, performance level off. Do you think the new 3 GB chips with GDDR7, with the new 3 GB chips with GDDR7, we'll see 9 GB? That's a pretty good. We actually talked about that last stream, kind of, or I think I brought it up from when graphics cards like the RX or no R9 280s in them had 3 GB, and I mean the NVIDIA 1060 had 3 GB as well. So what's the multipliers? 3 is too low, like by itself. 6 is too low. 9 is pretty much would replace 8. And then 12, they're still making 12 GB graphics cards now. And then 15 would be pretty close to 16. I would say that that's very, I think that's pretty possible. You're only 1 GB off of the current existing VRAM configurations. So I have not looked into GDDR7 though, and anything regarding 3 GB chips. But you can get multiples of existing VRAM configurations within 1 gig pretty easily. So, and if they round up, so replacing all the 8s with the 9s, all the 12s can stay 12s, and then I guess the 16s you would want to become 18s and not 15 gigs. But yeah. Yeah, because what is above? Yeah, it's kind of sad looking at this list. They haven't filled out this lower segment equivalents of, like, you know, popular cards like the RTX 2060 and the RX 5700 and stuff. Intel has done it. They've got the A580. But it's sad to not see, you know, more like current gen AMD NVIDIA cards down here. All right, how are we doing? Okay, we're 1.5 hours in stream. I need to drink some water because my mouth is getting really dry. Josh Bader says, I like my OBSBOT version 1. Paid 25 Canadian for it. I've not even seen what that camera looks like. Yeah, everything I'm coming up with is coming up with a version 2, even in Google Images. Oh, the tiny, with the cylindrical lens, not with the rounded off square lens, okay. Would I consider the A770 mid-range? If you asked me this question before the current generation, the last generation, I think it was definitely mid-range. Now, I wouldn't call it entry-level or low-end. It's like lower mid-range. So I think that's where you insert in the filler spots. Between high, middle, and low, you add modifiers to the mid-range. So you have upper mid-range and lower mid-range. The A770 is like, I think, right on the cusp of mid-range and lower mid-range, I would say. But again, I guess none of this matters. Like, who cares what different people classify things as? I guess it's only confusing when someone does mention like categorically like a mid-range card, but doesn't give the specific example. Then you might be thinking of a completely different card than they are, right? So that's the only instance where it matters. But when you're just actually talking about the graphics cards itself, it doesn't matter if the A770 is called mid-range, really, except for if you want to piss people off if the price is too high for like lower and mid-range stuff. A 1070 is what can be afforded and is therefore king in the depressed economy. Volta is still... Yeah, so that's a good thing to bring up too, right? So I think in America, we are pretty lucky and privileged. Not only with like modern graphics card prices, but if you look at just like the average person in America who is a PC gamer that has a gaming PC, definitely has a way nicer, way more modern graphics card than people in, say, like the Philippines or Vietnam or... you know, just any of those other non-first world countries, right? So regardless, we have it pretty lucky. But yeah, Mike Verzone brings up a good point. Like, so many people are still using RX 580s, GTX 1070s, and even worse cards around the world. So as long as the card plays what you want range, it does not matter. Indeed, which surprisingly, cards like the RX 580 and GTX 1070 can still play modern games. And I say can still play. I didn't say can play it at high resolutions, at, you know, much higher than 60 FPS, or at super high epic settings. But I have always been of the opinion that being able to play the game at all is like already 70% of the way there. Nicer graphics and higher FPS is like bells and whistles. Like, I can attend a LAN party with you know, a GTX 1070 and still have as good of a time. What's the best GPU to pair with my Ryzen 3900X to get the most out of it? Got a 3060 Ti. 3900X? Ooh, see, the Ryzen 9s... to get the most... Oh, so... I would have to look at the... what resolution are you playing on? You could definitely bump that up if you're on 1440p. You could definitely squeeze out more performance for sure, regardless. But in terms of starting to hit the CPU bottleneck versus when you would want to throw in like a 5800X3D, that I would have to look into more. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Reluctant Hero says, I slept too long on your 1070 over on Jawa. Robert. Oh, yeah. Robert had the one listed. You could still... Let me see if I can find it. if I can find my Jawa profile. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, wait, the listing's private? You need the actual thing. Okay, never mind. It's not here. But I was going to say, you can still win the one that's coming at the end of the month on November 30th when I make the listing live. You have to have the link because I only want people who watch the video to know about it. I'm not making it publicly live on Jawa, so you have to have the link to see it. And it's going to go live randomly. So you still have a chance for that if you're willing to wait 10 days. Brian Rowland says, loves the channel, my bro, always keeping it interesting. Thanks for the kind words, I appreciate it. Thanks for your viewership. Thoughts on Ubisoft not letting you play Avatar when you own it unless you buy the DLC? Wait, what? You talking about Avatar, like, the Blue People game? Was that a Ubisoft title? Avatar Steam game. I wasn't even... Frontiers of Pandora? I didn't even know that was... Well, I guess the publisher was Ubisoft, but the developer was... Wait. Oh, it's Massive Entertainment, which was a Ubisoft studio. I did not know about that. Thoughts on them not letting you play it when you own it unless you... What? So they released DLC, and then they made the base game not playable? You gotta be joking, right? There's no way they're gonna get away with that. They're definitely gonna have to change that. Is the link going in Discord? The link, it is. If you go to the announcement on the Discord, it was part of this video, so I can just get to it right now.
I have a lot of...
Here. Whoa, boom. Right here. That's not it. We want to look for the giveaway link. Here it is. Yes. Sorry for the long link spam, but here it is. So all the information is down here. November 30th between 3 and 9 p.m. PST. So if you want a $1 GTX 1070, and it's only applicable to people who are able to buy from Jawa. So unfortunately not international, just because this thing would be so expensive to ship internationally and be worth way more than the value of the card. And being a used card, the resources to get this to another country, I don't think is worth it. Yeah, sending a used 8-year-old graphics card, which is still capable, but in case it, you know, is gonna die for whatever reason, it's just, I don't think it's worth doing it international for that one. So Gaming with Ant-Man says, I still have my 1070. Yeah, I still have PC builds out there where I've helped friends and family that still have 1070s, and they're still going strong. So yeah, looking at those prices, Avatar the game gets the same treatment the movie got from me. Yeah, the second movie, for how long it took to come out, The Way of the Water, I think it was called. It was not a memorable movie to watch. Even the first Avatar wasn't that memorable. It was like a visual spectacle, but yeah. Let's do the unboxing real quick while we just chill and talk, because I did spend so much time testing the camera out. Alright, give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, okay. I want to be sure to protect Igor's address not being shown, so I'm going to unbox it like this. So this is from Igor, who said, my sister is rocking my old 1080, which is still an awesome card. But Igor sent this package to my business mailing address, and I actually picked it up a couple of weeks ago, but I'm very bad memory, guys. I've been meaning to open this for a couple of weeks, but let's see what he sent me. So it is, oh, what is this? Wait, are these the Dino Nuggets? Oh my goodness. These look, if I had to guess, I can't tell what these are. But if I had to guess, these are different Dino Nugget shaped pillows. And I have one of them because Jason actually bought me one when he came and visited it. Yes. Yes. We got the Brontosaurus, or Brontosaurus. I think it's Brontosaurus, right? Long necks, essentially. Little foot. Long neck from The Land Before Time, if you guys remember that. Alright, we got Dino Nugget plushies. Heck yeah, finishing off my collection. Oh my god, this is not PC hardware, but I am excited. We got Triceratops, like Sarah from The Land Before Time. Oh man, this is awesome. I think I have the Stegosaurus already. But this is the one that I have. But having 2 of them does not hurt. I think this is called the Stegosaurus. Bruh, it's been so many years since I've even had to know the name of dinosaurs. That was like elementary school, right? But, okay. Let's see. I forgot what all the different shapes they had were. I think there's a T-Rex. What is this one? Is this this is not a T-Rex. Oh, I think it is a T-Rex. They just gave it a very big, booty, I guess. You see with the 2 legs? But yeah, I would say this is the T-Rex if I had to guess. And then, what is this one? Is there like a pterodactyl? Do the air dinosaurs, the flying ones, get any love? Oh, wow. I guessed it just perfectly. Okay, what is the orientation of this pterodactyl? I think it's this. That looks kind of like a pterodactyl-ish. Yeah, it would be this way. I think we got pterodactyl. So yeah, we've got the whole set of Dino Nuggies. Igor, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. This is definitely going to be seen in the LAN parties, at least at my house. But yeah, the LAN crew is gonna love this, and we have so many plushies on our couch. These are just nice to grab and then just use as a pillow or to, like, you know, hold on to. So Igor, thank you very much for sending these over. I appreciate it. I'm gonna put them right here. I really like this T-Rex. This one's pretty funny. Yeah, he got a big booty. He got that pear-shaped booty. Just don't eat them. Exactly. Sharp tooth. Exactly. So we got some Land Before Time people in the house. Got Chomper. Hard Nights regarding Avatar said I saw it in cinemas too. Was it that 2010? That was the first Avatar movie, right? 2010. I saw it. It was pretty long. It was a late night that we caught it, but I watched it just because the visual spectacle was pretty good at the time. I think it still holds up pretty well. Let's see, Avatar movie. Oh, it was 2009, not 2010. So. Yes. Who ran that one? But Hardware Unboxed did have recently. I had that one playing in the background about CPU bottlenecks and how they test it and why they test it at 1080p and stuff. The only thing is, so Hardware Unboxed is like one of the only channels that does like the massive GPU and CPU like testing videos, like testing 25 CPUs and stuff, right? I know for graphics cards, when they test it, or for CPUs, when they test it and they, you know, they use like a 4090 and they set it to 1080p to try to crank those graphics up. I wish they still showed charts, and this is too much of an ask because it's so much work. I wish they did still show just a quick snippet of what a 1440p and 4K chart looks like, just to show people that, like, unless you're getting these crazy powerful graphics cards and for whatever reason you're playing at 1080p, once you start playing at 1440p and 4K, the CPU differences between them, the performance differences, the gap, like, they shrink. So I don't think everybody out there needs a 7800 X3D and 9800 X3D. Like, the non-X3D chips and the, like, you know, current gen Ryzen 5 chips, those will do just fine and serve a very wide range of graphics cards. So do you need to spend like $400 something on a 9800 X3D when you can get like a $200-ish, like 7600? Like, that's where the 4K and the 1440p numbers will help. Obviously, there's a difference between the CPUs, but being that most people are just gamers, I think just having that data to show them, like, hey, like at 4K it washes out to like barely, you know, 15-10% difference, but you're paying double the price for the 9800 X3D. I wish that information was there just so people are more, I guess, aware. Like, you do not need a X3D chip. This is not the new webcam. This is the original webcam. We tested the new webcam. I could show it for the people who just got here. So, oh, see, this one's not... I'm still configuring it. Yeah, right now the settings are not dialed in. We got it to look better earlier, but I think it might have reset. But, yeah. So, you'll see it next week on the stream after I get it dialed in. Avatar was Dances with Wolves, but with giant blue aliens and Ferngully, right? And a little bit of Pocahontas, too. It's just like a mix of all those movies. Ooh, this is an interesting point. Another way to get an idea of GPU-CPU pairing is ask AI search engine like Google Gemini. It's not great yet, but along with looking at YouTube, like as a starting point, right? Okay, let me see if I can do this. Can I use this without being signed in? I have to sign in. Let me sign in. We can actually do this live test. Okay, I'm gonna have to... Give me 1 second. Oh no, go away. Stop. Stop! Where's my Google sign in? Continue. I can't use Gemini without being signed in apparently, so... Okay. Alright. Continue. Okay. So we're set up now. What should we ask it? Oh, we can ask it with... What was the question that person asked? Let's just look at the 5800 X3D. How powerful of a graphics card can you test, or can you pair with a Ryzen 7 5800 X3D? Let's just see what they say. This might be too specific of a question, but the Ryzen 7 5800 X3D is a powerful CPU, especially for gaming. It can handle a wide range of graphics cards. I agree so far, from mid-range to high-end. However, it's important to consider your budget. Okay, pretty good so far. Mid-range. Oh, it calls the 7700 XT mid-range. Y'all were right. So, okay, pairing it with that is good. With the 4070 high-end 7900 XTX, this card is a beast. Okay, however, it's very expensive. 4080 Ti. Ultimately, the best CPU for you will depend on... Okay, this actually isn't bad. And I'm not sure... It hasn't even been that long ago, but if you guys remember, before the 7800 X3D and 9800 X3D came out, like, the reviewers were testing with the 5800 X3D, the RTX 4090, 4090 review. Like, if we look up RTX 4090 review, was it this one? Do they put their... Nope, that's not in there. I don't... What did Linus... Founders Edition... Are they gonna put the test bench on here? Test system... Oh, they tested it with the 7950X. Who was it that tested it? Was it Hardware Unbox RTX 4090 review? 2 years ago. Because I'm trying to find channels that lay out clearly. Yeah, so like Hardware Unboxed on their initial review did it with the 5800 X3D. And you still, if you look at the... Where's the average charts? 4K average. 13 game... average on 4K. Yeah, so even with the 5800 X3D, with the 4090, compared to what was the next best thing at the time, is the 3090 Ti. You still saw this large of a gap in performance, showing that the 5800 X3D is still very viable. So getting back on point, yes, I would agree with this. You can easily pair, like, you know, up to a 7900 XTX with the 4080 Ti with the 5800 X3D. Julian says 9800 X3D is the first CPU released by the first X3D CPU released by AMD that's unlocked though, which is from an overclocker standpoint is pretty impressive. Brian from Tech Yes City actually just released a video. Was it today or yesterday? I haven't watched it yet. I think I saw it pop up in my video stream of, you know, channels I've subscribed to. But I think he played around with overclocking it, right? Like. With regards to my use cases, I don't think I would ever need to overclock an X3D chip in the near future anyways. Obviously on the tail end of it, when you start getting graphics cards that are powerful enough to start bottlenecking it more, you know, near the end of life, that's when I would more, not end of life, but near once it gets older and ages and better CPUs come out, that's when I would consider overclocking it more. But like within the first few years, I don't find it usually necessary. But overclockers usually are a different like breed, right? They do it just for fun, not necessarily because it's worth doing. They do it because you can do it, is how you should say it. Is there going to be a special show for... Okay, actually this is a good point. Thanksgiving is coming up. That's next week, right? Thanksgiving 2024. What day is that? Next Thursday? The thing is... I might cancel the Wednesday stream and do a Black Friday stream instead. I don't think many online outlets... okay, we're gonna have to play it by ear, because sometimes, like Amazon and Newegg, I don't remember what they did last year. They do like a Black Friday week, Cyber Monday week sale or something like that. So depending on how the deals are looking, I might stream next week on Friday instead of Wednesday. I don't think I can stream both days, but it might be one of the two. But thanks for bringing that up, Arflet. The year is just flying by, so I can't believe it's already Thanksgiving, and then just a quick shot after that, it's going to be Christmas time frame, which is when my LAN party video is due. So that date is going to come approaching really fast. I don't get why I've been told my system is dead, says Danimo1. It's a dead system. I'm not into tech too much, but I think my system is fine. Okay, they're trolling, or somebody's trolling here. Either it's you or the person who says your system is dead, because there are elitists out there who look at the 4070's VRAM and say that that's not going to be viable in the future. But given that you could still game on old graphics cards with 4 gigabytes of VRAMs, and the games usually work its way around that, 12 gigabytes of VRAM is fine. Like, obviously, it's not ideal if you could get, for the same price, 16 gigs. But to think that you're going to have an unplayable gaming experience on an obsolete system just because you have a RX 4070 with 12 gigs of VRAM, I don't think that's the right way to look at it. So your system's fine. Yeah, 5900X and a 4070, you're good. Andy Rami says, me with a 6700 XT, that's still a pretty good card. Don't be sad. Be happy that it's still able to chug along with games still to today, and that hopefully it served you for a while. Hopefully you didn't just buy that like last week. I mean, if you did, it's still fine because you would have gotten it for cheap enough to justify it, but yeah. I'm not using the Tiny Lite 2 right now. Well, we tested it at the beginning of the stream, but I have to dial in the settings more. But out of the box, there is potential for it to replace this camera. I should put here. Where's the thing? Give me 1 second. So here's the side-by-side cams. I just need to grab the Sony text real quick. So we're gonna put BAM, and we're gonna put this right here, so that people know. And I'll put BAM, put it right here. And now people will know, because yes, I don't want people to be confused thinking that I am on it right now. This is what it looks like full screen. It looks different, and I'm gonna dial it in. But it does have that tracking, which is pretty nice. There's the Dino Nuggets. But yeah, I'm not currently on it. Desired Spec says, managed to finally upgrade my CPU to a Ryzen 5 5600 from an i5 9400, which has boosted FPS about 300 plus in Fortnite. 300? Are you playing at like the competitive, what's it called? What is that profile mode called? Not DX12, but I forgot what it's called. But 300 though, boosting it 300 over the 9400 should have still been getting decent-ish frame rates. So getting 300 over that, that is kind of crazy. I find it hard to get 300 plus on Fortnite. I guess it depends on your settings. Yeah, if you're going onto like the whatever that the non-DX12, non-DX11 mode is, it's slipping. Performance mode is what it's called, which makes sense because you get more performance. Yeah, here, let me see. That sounds. I'm not saying I don't believe it, but that's crazy. 300 plus what were you getting on the 9400? Fortnite performance mode, Ryzen 5600. So yeah, I don't want to look at a 1060 because obviously, like, here's a 4060. Okay, wait. If we're getting into like the 400 range, yeah, so 300. So you are easily reaching it in performance mode at 300. But if you pair it with a super powerful graphics card, everyone who's doing performance mode though is testing it with old graphics cards. Can we get 4070 or 4080 or 4090 or something? Okay. Where is? Oh, well, here's one that's showing. Okay, so performance mode. What resolution is this? 100% 3D resolution. I'm guessing it's 1080p. Am I blind? Yeah, so getting 300 FPS. Okay, yeah, I can see it if you're. What graphics card are they don't even put what graphics card. Oh, 4060. Okay, I can see it. Yeah, that. I usually don't test Fortnite in performance mode, so I don't run it usually at 300 plus FPS usually, but okay. Download more RAM joke. You can download more FPS though, which I haven't played with it yet, but this oh gosh, what is that Steam? Let's see, Steam program, lossless FPS, lossless scaling, not lossless FPS. I haven't played with this yet, but it's been on my to-do list to do with like an older system, lossless scaling. I've been seeing more and more stuff pop up about it. I learned about it through, surprisingly enough, Throne and Liberty. But yeah, this is kind of downloading more frames. But it kind of goes along with the joke of downloading more RAM. How many of y'all use this actually? I haven't had a chance to like test it, but this is really good for like, you know, it works for modern hardware, but also works well for when you have like older stuff that you want to squeeze more life out of. Let me run the poll. Have you used just yes or no? And yeah, I'm very curious within this community. that watches the stream, how many people have tried this. I feel like for how amazing it seems based off of what I've seen so far, it's like a no-brainer to use. Like everyone should, it's essentially giving yourself like, you know, FSR or DLSS regardless of if the program supports it or not, right? Because there are some old games and stuff that just, because they're, you know, the technology wasn't around at the time, there is no like scaling technologies built in. So this kind of provides that. If I'm going to like dumb down the explanation, I don't believe it's the exact same thing, but it is kind of, you know, boosting. Let's see, they actually show an example right here, and obviously this is going to be biased towards their own testing that makes them look good, but FSR native, let's see. Yeah, these screenshots are going to do it justice. And I need to play around with it more to understand everything, but is it free as well? It is not free. It is $7. I believe it's gone on sale. Let's see, lossless scaling sale. Lossless scaling price history. So, if we look at the price history of this, set your currency. $6, the lowest. So it has gone on sale down to $1, which is definitely worth it. Let me see the chart of the price history. Let's look at like the 1 year. So it's sitting at, oh wait, no, this is the users. Where's the price? Go back. When was the last time it was this price? Oh, US price history. Here we go. So the last time it was on sale for like $1 or $3 was back in a year ago, but I think it's picked up steam and popularity, so it doesn't look like it's really gone on sale for less than 20% off for like $5-ish bucks. So if we look at the yeah, I could have sworn at one point it's showing it's $1, but we can only see the max. I think maybe earlier on in the program, before it got all these new features for the upscaling and stuff, it was cheaper. Bro fact checked himself. Wait, who did? You talking about Julian or me? I am never above fact checking myself. I get stuff wrong all the time. That's why I love pulling stuff up in the browser. Like, there are things that I think I remember, and then sometimes I'm just totally off, but sometimes I'm spot on. But let's see. Akeem says, I recently bought a 4070 Super, and honestly, it's the best and yet the worst purchase I've made. How's it the best and worst? How do you explain that? I mean, if the graphics card gives you performance that you're happy with at a price that you could afford, don't kill yourself over trying to like min-max getting the best performance. As I say, a lot of times, not everything in life is getting the best price and best deal that you can. Sometimes you just can't, or you just don't for some reason, right? I'm a prime example of that. Like, not everything I buy is the best, like, value per dollar spent kind of thing. Steam winter sale, when is that? Yeah, I would imagine it goes on sale during the winter sales. Autumn sale 2024. Wait, what? Wait, when is winter? I feel so dumb having to ask this. When does winter start in the US? December. I mean, that makes sense. Late December. So but to call it an autumn sale at the tail end of autumn, that's what threw me off. On the 27th, okay, so a week from now, actually. Wait, what? So yeah, that's next Wednesday. And that sale is going to go on for however long. So, okay, yeah, I mean, very likely it will go on sale. But $6 or $7 at the end of the day is not much to begin with, so. Mike Brazone, my B-Day is the 21st. You mean tomorrow? Mike Brazone, are you willing to share how old you are turning? Just because as much as I think the majority of my viewer base are anywhere from like teenagers to like 20-ish year olds, we got some older viewers in the house. I know we've got a decent amount of like people in their 30s, and then a handful of people like that are even older, like 40 plus, so. I don't think the 4070 Super is bad. I don't think it's bad either. That's why I was kind of confused at that comment. 4070 Super is like 600, right? We checked that last week. Yeah, not bad value at all. What? See, the 4070 pricing is kind of like weird. Like, let's see what it actually costs right now since the Super came out. So 4070 is it pretty consistently 550? And Newegg. Right, so we look at 4070s. So 4070 Supers are 600 pretty consistently. So it's looking, I'm seeing 550. Here's 540. In terms of a good price for it, I mean, they're both, I mean, this was essentially a refresh. It's not you're getting any more. You would need the TI Super to get the 16 gigs of VRAM. So in terms of, you're looking at from 550 to 600, that's about 10% difference, right? But if we look at Tech Power Up, 4070 Super, just because they have their nice percentage chart. If you look at the, so 4070 Super versus the 4070, so you look at 15% there. So if you look at 86% of 0.86, if you want to look at it for like a FPS per dollar standpoint, right? It would need to be around $510 to $520 to be on par FPS per dollar with the 4070 Super, because 15% or 85% of 600 for 85% of the performance of the 4070 Super is about 515. So I would say anywhere from 510 to 520 would be the price you would be targeting brand new to be in line with this price. Extreme Zone says, happy birthday. Yes, happy early birthday to Mike Brazone. Then we got Mr. Guillotine, who proudly says, I'll be 46 in a week. We got Jay Gordon, who is 60 plus. Yeah, 36-year-old. Me and Luke are about the same age. Just a bit younger. Big and Bad Joe. I be 71 years old. Really? If so, I think you might be one of the oldest viewers I've had. Actually, Gerard might be 71 as well. He's been saying 65 or older since like 7 years ago, so he might be the same age, but yeah. Gaming with Ant-Man also, so yep, mid-30s, so right up my alley. I learned a lot from you. Thank you. I appreciate it. If I don't ever claim to be like the most knowledgeable person, I'm still learning a lot still with everything I do. And yeah, so I feel like we're all learning together. I definitely learn from you guys quite a bit too, just because I can only, I can only retain so much information and like learn and do so much. So there's plenty that things that you guys say that I definitely learn from as well. So it's like a two-way street, right? We're all learning from each other and gaining. So yeah. What is Steam lossless scaling? So in case you missed that, essentially it's a program to help you, and I think the scaling thing has been around for a while, but also frame generation. So essentially, if you have either an old piece of hardware that for whatever reason does not work with like NVIDIA frame generation, or AMD is a little bit more laxed on that, but I don't know with regards to the support if every graphics card supports it. But this is essentially a program that can help you get more performance out of your hardware, that acts similarly to, and it says, is this based on, so it has different scaling options, it has scaling algorithms, I don't know like the full technical breakdown of it, but essentially it gives you scaling and frame generation to get more frame rate out of your hardware. Like, so think, you can use it for modern hardware, but I don't know how much that's needed because modern hardware do support the technologies that, AMD, NVIDIA have. But for older hardware, this has been found to be very useful. So yeah, it's $6. It's not free, but to be able to apply frame generation and scaling to essentially every single game and every single hardware out there, I think it's worth looking at. Plus, you have a 2-hour return window. Play with it. If it's to your liking, keep it. If it's not, return it on Steam or whatever. Oh, wow. Okay, so, we didn't get, like, everybody who's watching to vote. Maybe because they don't even know what it is. But, of the votes, I'm going to end the poll. Yeah, 3% says yes. Overwhelming majority of people have not used lossless scaling. So I haven't even used it. So I'm part of the no. I'm aware of it, but I have not used it. So I don't get paid in this job. It is voluntary civil service retained by Congress and enlisted by the FTC. I have 12 x86 ARM and Alpha intros under my belt. So I'm here because as a monitor, I need to be aware of what users in the market think. Mike, so do you watch, I'm sure you watch all like the long form content, but do you watch a bunch of other like PC in the, PC building realm and PC testers and stuff, like their live streams as well? I guess how many, like Zach's Tech Turf does a live stream every week. I'm trying to think of other content creators, even big ones, like Linus does the WAN show. Like, do you watch that every single week? What other content, like PC building, PC hardware tech content creators do like a consistent weekly live stream? Me, Zach, Linus. I'm sure there's others. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Jay has streamed before, but he doesn't do it consistently. Like Gamers Nexus, they do their like live testing streams, but not like on a consistent basis. So yeah, how many, like what other channels out there? Brea Thorn, he does pre-builds. So, but he does his weekly as well. Yeah, for sure. Brea Thorn. Mike's Unboxing, okay. Oh, Toasty Bros. They do it over on YouTube too, don't they? I need to check my notification settings for them because I do not see those pop up unless they switch back to Twitch permanently. Let me see. Toasty Bros. Yeah, okay. So it's still, it's not a large amount of content creators, which kind of makes sense. Streaming does, like, it takes time to do and to, like, set up. Oh, wait. Unless they hide their streams. Yeah, Toasty Bros, their last stream that is shown was 6 years ago, so they must hide all their new live streams if they still dual stream to YouTube. But this is, yeah, looking at their lives tab. YouTube and Twitch, okay. Read the effing manual from Jay is back, but that's on his own channel, right? Yeah, okay, so that's why. So you have to subscribe to a different channel for it. The RTFM show. Oh wait, no, and it's on his it's on his main channel, but he did stream 5 days ago. Okay, so yeah, now how consistent is this? 2 weeks. So it just came back like 2 weeks ago. Okay, so now Jay has one that is more consistent. It seems like he's gonna keep up with. Okay. You're saying that I am a very trusted podcast and site for real data that's not twisted or hype, so I appreciate that. I wish I was more technical and had more, like, if you guys didn't know, I'm a one-person show, right? So I do everything. I just recently started outsourcing thumbnails on some videos, but with regards to any testing or any shooting, editing, that's all me. Like, I don't have a team. I don't make enough to be able to hire people, unfortunately. So that's just the sad reality of it. I cannot pay for an editor and for like an employee, like some other, like Toasty Bros, Zack Texter, Scatterbolt. They all have like multiple people on the channel that they pay, I think, at least a decent salary. I do not make enough, unfortunately, to be able to do that. So Mr. Shrimp with the $5 super chat. My buddy has $1,200 and wants to build a gaming PC. Should he build one or buy a... Ooh, this is a good question. Mr. Shrimp, are you knowledgeable about building PCs? And is your buddy... If your buddy's considering a pre-built, they may... I can't assume, right? Do they know how to build PCs? And if not, then are you able to help them build it, like physically in person? Because that's a very big like indicator whether or not they should go pre-built or not. I've just seen so many people have trouble building a PC without having help or spare parts to troubleshoot that Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the pre-built deals sometimes outpace individual part pricing, where you could get a better spec PC buying a pre-built. So it depends. I am, new parts only, and you'll help build. Okay. I mean, so we've got the next week. In about a week, we have Black Friday deals coming up, and then Cyber Monday. $1,200. I think it's gonna be pretty even. The thing is, during Black Friday, we're not gonna see like massive discounts on CPUs and GPUs and stuff. There'll be decent discounts like we saw on Prime Day on RAM, SSDs, power supplies, cases, maybe motherboards. But CPU, graphics cards, maybe like 20-ish, $30 discounts, depending on how high end you go. But percentage wise, usually not huge discounts. If you can build, I guess you are safer with, there's probably going to be some good power supply sales. So it gives you the reassurance that you're not getting some random questionable quality power supply. If you care about that, I think $1,200 is flexible enough where you can get like a 7800 XT. Can you do a 4070 super system? That'd be $600 for graphics card, $600 for the rest of the parts. That'd be pushing it if you want a like AM5 system, unless you're going 7500F from AliExpress. Let me do the math in my head. Yeah, I mean, I think what you're gonna be seeing on Black Friday or Cyber Monday deals around $1,200-ish plus or minus 100, right? You'll be seeing 4070/4070 super systems with Intel i5 or Ryzen 5 current gen systems with the standard 1 to 2 terabyte SSDs, probably 32 gigs of RAM, and whatever else, right? Like 650 to 750 watt power supply. I think you could get either or. So if you're willing to build, you're willing to help, I think probably go the custom built route. It's what I'm thinking. Big Country says, anyone seen any good Micro Center Black Friday deals? Unfortunately, not me, because I don't have a Black Friday around. Or not a Black Friday. I don't have a Micro Center around, rather. Mike Brazone says, watches Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unbox, J. Paul's, Good Old Gamer before they close, NAAF, Evert, Sunday, I am a moderator on NAAF. What is NAAF? Oh, non-Apple fan. Okay, yeah. Got it, yeah. Extreme Zone says, I first bought a pre-built then upgraded that later so I can build one from scratch later. Yeah. That's my, I recommend that a lot to people. If they don't have someone who could help them out, because I don't know, have any of you had horrible first time building experiences? I've read enough online and I've had to try to help people remotely, like, you know, over the years. And this was before everyone had webcams and like phones that can, what's it called, video call and stuff like that. But trying to help someone in a different state who has never built a PC before, even though I am very comfortable with it, not being physically there, it's pretty difficult depending on how prepared the person is. And there's only so much preparing you can do to build your first PC. You can watch all the videos in the world. It's different when you have the parts in front of you and you're literally socketing the CPU, you know, applying the right amount of pressure to make sure the thermal paste spreads, you know, making sure you're not being too hard on the parts to break them, etc. I am very, for me, I am more understanding of people who are anxious and nervous about building PCs than some elitists out there who just says, it's super easy, it's Legos, watch a video and you could do it. That's not the case. Building a PC, for some people, can be a nightmare experience that can take days of troubleshooting. Nemus Dark, you are late. Yes. We started 2 hours ago. Stream's actually about to end. Yeah. 4060 enough for 5 years? 8 gigabytes of VRAM for gaming YouTubers? I mean, I think most people would say 5 years. You could make it work up to 5 years. People are still using RX 580s and what's it called? GTX 1060s to this day. And that, you know, those have 6 gigabytes of VRAM. The gaming experience is going to be noticeably worse as the years go on. But I would say it would be recommended to get a different card if you want something to last 5 years. Like a 4060, you don't, I feel like you don't grab more of the, what people are calling entry level, a card like a 4060, and expect 5 years out of it. Maybe like 3 years more realistic, but trying to stretch something 5 years, typically you would want to spend a little bit more money, I would say. Like something more like along the lines of a 4070 Super. Fingers crossed, never had to RMA. My builds worked out. Recently had a RAM stick go bad. I had to diagnose. Yeah, that's the big thing. If you get any either DOA, dead on arrival, or defective parts where they work, but they're for some reason like not stable and causes crashes. Can you imagine as a first time PC builder, you build your system and it's just randomly crashing, and and it's a hardware problem, right? And no matter where you go online, all the suggestions to like, oh, reformat Windows, oh, go to this, change this setting, oh, run, you know, turn off your XMPs, and none of it just works. And people are like, oh, try to you know, pinpoint the problem. Oh, here's one. Try to look at Windows Event Viewer. My goodness, I hate looking at Event Viewer right now to try to diagnose something. I feel like majority of the time it's useless. Imagine being a complete newbie, having to figure out how to boot into safe mode, get into Event Viewer, and try to, from that like random mess of information, figure out what the problem is, right? So yeah, be kind to people who the end of the day, at the end of the day, the moral of the story is don't hate people for wanting pre-built, right? There's a perfectly legitimate reason for going pre-built first, to then do small upgrades, to then, you know, building your own PC. Event viewer blows my mind in a good or a bad way, Luke. You mean like it blows your mind because it gives you way too much random crap that's not useful, or it blows my mind in how amazing and useful it is? For me, it's the former. Nemus Dark does not get notifications on the streams. Yeah, that's strange. Some people have reported that they don't get notifications on my videos, which kind of sucks because it limits my my reach. But it is what it is. Well, you're in the Discord server, so if you have your Discord notifications on, I usually post when the streams are going live. So yeah. I broke my case and bought the wrong RAM. That's two different things. Oh yes, you are saying it as two different things. I broke my case while building, or did you like drop it? And then you bought the wrong RAM, which, yeah, that's something that, I mean, PC Part Picker is pretty good about, you know, preventing that from happening. But if you buy a pre-built, assuming they test it and everything before it's sent out, it's ready to go out of the box, yeah, you don't have that problem, which is one of the, you know, benefits of pre-builts. PikaWub says, I stare at event viewer logs all day for my job in security, lol. How much, PikaWubs, would you say, like, do you fully understand the Matrix, right? You know, the Matrix, seeing all the random code. When you look at an event viewer, how much of it do you think, like, realistically, would you say you understand? And how much of it is just kind of like, I have to, like, look up something, or, like, it's kind of like black box generic message. Like, are you pretty, like, 50-50? Or are you, like, 90-10, 90% understanding it? Igor says, I hate event viewer. Windows knows why it crashed and can never give you a simple answer. Yeah, it gives you like 9 different things. It has way too much going on to be useful. Kernel power level. Yes, exactly. Kernel events and things like that. Security logs are actually somewhat helpful. The hardware diagnostic is pretty useless. Okay, good to know for someone who's actually working in, you know, that field, that hardware diagnostics is useless, because that's usually, what is the problems that I've run into. It depends on, okay, that's answering somebody else, so. Alright, we are 2.5 hours in the stream, so we are going to end this soonish. Let me answer this last question, and then I'll talk about what's going to go on next week. So, I have an i5 2600KF and an RTX 3060 Ti 2TB M.2, 16 gigs of RAM, $500 budget. You can easily upgrade the RAM to 32 gigs for what? How much? 32 gigs of RAM. If you're only buying another kit of 16 of the same kit and you have slots open, it's even cheaper. It's like what, 30 to 40 bucks. If you're buying a new set of 32 gigs though, it's like 60 to 70 if you're not like trying to go crazy with RGB. And assuming you're DDR4, but that still leaves you with $400-ish or more. I think the 12600KF is still very usable. You're definitely going to get the most performance out of a graphics card upgrade. For 400-ish bucks, or if you decide not to touch your RAM, which it might start becoming bottlenecks in other games that are more RAM intensive, like Diablo, and I think, what other game is super RAM intensive? I think Call of Duty pushes it up a bit. But yeah, if you want to put all your money towards a card, I mean, 500 bucks, what can that afford you? A 4060 Ti? You're a little bit short of 4070 Super territory. You could go like RTX 3080 used. Those are like 400 or less. Or you're looking at, you know, RX 7800 or 7700 XT territory. Getting a graphics card most of the time is going to be the most bang for buck, you know, performance per dollar spent for gamers. So those are your options. The fattest graphics card you can slap in there. If you're going used, probably going to be a 3080 Ti. But I mean, if you want NVIDIA, I guess. But 7800 XT, you can't really afford a 7900 GRE. So that's what I would say. What did Dr. DB ask? I didn't even... Doctor, what would... Oh. Dr. DB asked, this is going to be the last question I answer. I have a question. Do you have any experience with Newegg GPU trade-in? I do not. And do you know if you need the original box? I would imagine you don't need the original box. My GPU is working very well and is in good condition, but I lost the box. Okay, GPU trade-in programs. I'm not sponsored. I am sponsored, but not in this stream. Look around. Is there any reason you specifically want to do trade-in? Yeah, I don't think... I'm pretty sure you don't need the box. They would be cutting out so many people. But Jawa also has a trade-in program, which I know they're trying to be competitive with Newegg. Look at both. Let me see if I can find the Jawa GPU trade-in. So look at Jawa, because you know they're doing the GPU trade-in program. Oh, they have the estimated payouts too, but you can get an instant offer, or you could just sell it. Are you trying not to like skip the hassle of having to list it and meet up with people and all of that stuff? You could just list it on Jawa as well. But who else does GPU trade-in programs? Was there anybody else? You're gonna get less money because any of these platforms like Newegg and Jawa, they don't need GPUs in-house. They're gonna flip these. So they have to offer you an amount low enough where they can confidently sell it to make some money. Because once they get your card, they're gonna clean it, they're gonna test it, etc. It takes labor, right? So I'm not gonna call them a pawn shop because pawn shops have a bad reputation, but they're gonna give you below market value versus if you listed it on Jawa or eBay or Facebook or whatever the heck, you can get more money out of it. But yeah, I don't think you need the original boxes. That would be very bad on their business if that was the case, because they're missing out on a huge segment of the market by not having the box. I don't know if Jawa might pay you more. If we go here, brand used with original box. See, so Jawa, just because they have the condition here, they might pay you more for having the box, but you could definitely sell it to them no box. Newegg is not specifying, but going through it, you can see. But yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna look at both, and yeah, I just don't feel like... I do feel like it's more convenient, and I don't really need... Okay, so let's take a look at an example here. Just look at the instant trade values. So GPU estimated trade out, right? This isn't bad, actually. So look at the estimated payout. They're gonna pay you a 3060 Ti for $150. In my local market right now, the 3060 Ti I saw for like 200 or less. So them paying 3/4 value on, you know, used value is not bad. Let me see. Let me do a quick check. You can see how easily I get distracted when people talk about pricing and things like that. 1080 Ti, I think it might have been on the Facebook side of things. Recent first. We'll go 30 miles just to get a wider range. 250, where it might have been the Facebook ad then. I think it was Facebook. But yeah, I picked up 3060 Ti's for like anywhere from 200 to 220 multiple times in my own local market. Like here's one in California, $200 for a 3060 Ti. Let's see if there's anything else. Here's another one in California. Is this? It is set in California, but just for example, right? $200 for 3060 Ti. 3060 for 180. So yeah, so that's what Jawa was offering. I don't know what card you have, but check Newegg too. Obviously, shop around, see what pays the most. What do you guys think before we end out the stream? Do you think this is fair compared to selling it in the local market for $200? Where you have to like deal with, you know, messaging people, lowballers, annoying traders, etc. This is just simply, they're just gonna send you 150, you send the card in, that's it. Like, you can get more money on eBay and Facebook, that is true, yeah. But I think a pawn shop would probably pay less than 150. I think a pawn shop would be like 100 to 120 compared to the market value of 200 used. So Jawa, I think 150, this is very fair. given that they're doing a decent amount of work and they will eventually have to relist it. So I believe Micro Center does trade-ins. Yeah, definitely shop around if you have a Micro Center nearby too. Check that out. I didn't know Java had a trade-in, so thanks. Yeah, this is, I guess it's, by this point, I feel like it's like a year old now, but it didn't launch with the site when it launched. It was a feature that came after the fact, so. Yeah, they have to make profit at the end of the day, so. Yeah, if you want to make more money, you gotta put in the work. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Okay. Take the 500 and buy a 4070, then sell the 3060 Ti and upgrade the CPU, then sell the old CPU and upgrade the RAM. There you go. We got a multi-step process here. Yeah. Well, what can you upgrade from a 12600 with 150 to 180 bucks, depending on how much you get for it. I don't know if you could keep the CPU, I think. I don't think the 12600 KF really needs to be replaced. I think just going up to a 4070, maybe you can find one used, or, you know, the AMD cards, you would be fine. But lots of different paths about it, but I think now that you know of another source of potentially selling to, hopefully you can maximize your dollar spent. But that is going to be the end of the stream. Thank you all, as always, for coming and hanging out and doing all that stuff. Thank you for helping me test these cameras to see. And yeah, as we bring this up side by side, look at that focus. Oh man, that focus on the Dino Nugget fur. Look, it just like instantly grabs the focus. It's crazy. I need to make this thing work, because just looking at it, that focus alone makes me want to make it work. But yeah, thanks for helping me test these two cameras. And for next week, I will put out a stream notification / Discord. If you're not in the Discord, it's a pretty quiet Discord. I am in there, but it's nowhere near as crazy as like the bigger communities. But I do put out the stream notifications, so be on the lookout there as well, whether or not we're going to have a Black Friday stream or keep the normal Wednesday slot. But y'all, be safe out there. We had a cyclone come in. We have cyclone warnings right now. People are losing power all up and down Washington. So I'm glad stream did not cut out power tonight, because a lot of people in my area lost power overnight. We were flickering, but we did not lose power. So that's a good thing. But I'm glad we were able to make it to the stream with no problems. But yeah, y'all be safe out there. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend coming up. And I will see you all next week for holiday weekend in the US anyways. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all that good stuff. So take care. Bye-bye.